What up, awesome viewers? Rio Gian here. So today we're going to talk about the OnePlus Open and how I also really wanted this thing to succeed, and I'm going to try out doing a different video format now instead of the whole screen capturing thing. I'm going to do a talking head, and I'm going to look down a lot because I'm going to have like the information here that's going to be on the phone to me to take a look at. So then I'll tell you what I'm looking at, so then see if my thoughts and feelings. That's pretty much gonna be the structure of the video. Hopefully the sound quality is not too bad. I'm sitting somewhat relatively far away from the camera, so hopefully everything's gonna be pretty okay. So there we go. So one of the main things that is like really sticking out to me about the OnePlus Open or the V Fold or however they want to call it is the fact that it's wide and it's long. So that's one of the things that I like about this. Assuming, now this is assuming that they would actually keep everything the same. So what do I mean by that? Well, what I'm meaning by that is that if these on-leak images are what it's supposed to be and not like the Oppo Find N or Find something rather, it's that smaller one that's similar to the Pixel Fold. That's the one I'm talking about. So if this is actually a different one, if this is something that's more like the Honor Magic V2S, SV2 or somewhere around that line, that really thin one that's also like a regular phone when it's not folded and then opens up to be like 8 inches or something like that, that's a really good size there too. So if we're talking about the OnePlus and it's 7.8 inch 2K with a 6.3 AMOLED in the front, so the fact that it's 0.1 inch bigger, that's great. But the fact that it looks like it's a regular size screen, because that's something that a lot of people like, that they want to use a regular size phone when folded up. So this is going to be a really good selling point. For me personally, I don't really use the front screen that much on my phone. The only time when I do is to make the occasional phone call, which I still do those now and then. And then whatever the particular checks, like battery check or time check or something, some kind of small check. And then most of the time, I say 90% of the time, I'm gonna open it up instead of using it closed. So I would do that. But the thing that I mentioned about the previous video, if I decide to upload it or whenever I decide to upload it, is the fact that if you have a bigger front screen means a bigger overall screen, like bigger overall. That is something that I support, because 7.8 inches is going to be bigger than the 7.5 that we currently have with the Fold. So that's good. That's great. I think the Pixel is also 7.5. I think so. Maybe not. Who knows? Well, you know, and I probably know once I look it up. But yeah. So that's one of the main things I like about the OnePlus Open or V Fold or however they want to call it as. One of the things that's kind of worrying, but I guess maybe not, is because the spec leak only mentioned 256 gigs. But knowing OnePlus, do they have a 512? Do you guys remember a 512 on a OnePlus at all? Or a 1 terabyte? Because if I'm using a Fold and I'm also using it as a game console, which I currently am, I do want a terabyte. A terabyte would be the sweet spot, so that I can hold games and movies and music because I'm not really into that whole streaming stuff. So I'm in more of a native gaming. So yeah, hopefully they have a terabyte. It also doesn't mention wireless charging, which that's fine with me. That's not a big deal breaker for me. But it could be for a lot of people though. So if you're coming from a fold, should you be getting the OnePlus Open? I mean, you already have a folding phone. Like, if you're coming from a fold, you already have a folding phone. I don't even have the latest fold. This is the Fold 3. This is the bad one that a lot of people are talking about too. So this is the one I'm using. So yeah, there's that. But I mean, if you're coming from a regular phone that already does not have micro SD or headphone jack, by the way. Yes. If you're coming from a regular phone that already does not have those two features that I mentioned, okay, I can see you getting a fold, because it's like you gain the fold, the folding aspect, but you don't lose anything, because you already started off without a headphone jack or a micro SD card. That's assuming that's where you are. If you're a current mobile user, flagship current mobile user. Because if you're coming from the past, or if you're coming from an Xperia, you will lose headphone jack, you will lose micro SD card, you will gain the fold, and you will be mediocre about it. Like, you'll be happy you get the fold, you get a bigger screen. But you'll be sad that you lose micro SD, especially if you are a emulation gamer, especially. Because if you're coming from somebody that has a micro SD card slot and a headphone jack on a cell phone, and you play with emulators, and you lose the micro SD is the biggest possible hit. The headphone jack, it's okay. There are some controllers like the Backbone that has a headphone jack. Game Vice Flex has headphone jack. None of those controllers give you micro SD. They don't. So if you're somebody that's coming from a phone with a micro SD card slot and a headphone jack, and you're jumping onto a fold which doesn't have those things, maybe the Huawei. Maybe the Huawei has the SD cards, but they have nano SD card. Like, they have their own proprietary SD card. So that means you may have to pay a lot of money. But the fact that you still have expandable storage, that could be worth it. That could potentially be worth it. The fact that you do have expandable storage. Maybe. But that's not here nor there. That's just a rant. So now, moving back, a 48,000 milliamp battery. That's great. That's actually really great. Paper. Because the Pixel is also 4,818 milliamp or 15 milliamp or something. Some kind of, like, their battery size is really odd, by the way. But yeah, some kind of 4,800 milliamp battery. A lot of people report they don't have really that good battery life. So it's kind of up in the air whether or not 4,800 milliamp makes a difference. But this one is on the Snapdragon 8 Gen 2, which in theory should be one of the best SoC in terms of power efficiency and power management, because on the Xperia 5, the 1.5, they fix overheating issue. They fix it on the 1.5. So this could potentially be one of the best battery life folding phones, because it has the 8th Gen 2 and it has 4800, and you and I both know the Fold 5, whenever that release or whenever I release the video, will only have 4400 milliamp. So hardware wise, the Fold 5 should have weaker battery than the OnePlus, hardware wise, in theory, because Samsung can do some kind of battery optimization to make it better, for all I know. This is software. It's all software, so there's that. But the fact that you do have a bigger battery, that is very reassuring. And 67 watts fast charging, that is going to be a big deal. I think the Fold 5 is going to have 25 watts. I want to say 45, but I'm not sure 45. So I want to say 25. I want to say that. Cameras. Some other YouTubers can talk about cameras. They always talk about cameras with phones. So, like, if you want to know about cameras, a lot of other people are gonna do it better than me. A lot of people are doing this very same video that's better than me. So that's it. So, if you're watching me, thank you. Okay, so price. So potentially 1,500 bucks, which is great. But okay, here's kind of the thing with price and foldables. Easy. Wait, no, he changed his name. Tech Preacher. He makes a very valid point. Like, not a lot of people are paying full price. A lot of people are doing trade-ins. Because a lot of people have phone carrier. They don't use. Well, I mean, U.S. All right, U.S. Maybe the world could be different, but he does have a couple of good points. Is that a lot of people are doing trade-ins. A lot of people are bound to some kind of carrier. So most likely they're not paying full price. They're paying some kind of discounted price off of whatever that full price is. So, is price a consideration? Yes. Is it a large consideration? Probably. Because if you're in the US and you're bound to a carrier, you're probably gonna have some kind of discount trade-in deal. Most likely, that's the case. OnePlus is with T-Mobile before, right? So most likely you'll see some kind of deal with T-Mobile now. Most likely. Unless it's not, then you're gonna have to cross that bridge when you come to it. But yeah, price point being the fact that it's 1,500 is great. I really want it to have a terabyte of storage, if that's possible. Because so far, I think the Fold 5 will have a terabyte. Xiaomi Fold 3, maybe, whatever that one comes out. Potentially will have 1 terabyte. I know that the Honor Magic V2S has a terabyte. Some guy mentioned it in some YouTube video. Just throwing that out there. So if you want to use it as a gaming console, like, that totally makes sense. Like, that really makes sense to have a terabyte. Because me personally, I have the Odin, and I use 1 terabyte SD card, and I can't fill it up. I don't think I only reach like 700 gigs, and then I'm like capped. Like, that's pretty much it. So yeah. So I feel like with the other 300, maybe more like the other 200, 100 gigs for operating system and taking up space for whatever particular reason. So there's that. So the other 200 gigs, like photos, music, videos, movies. But I gotta be honest with you, like with 700 gigs of this games, you easily get overwhelmed. Like there's just a large choice. Like sometimes it can take a long time to select a game you want to play. So there's also that. But I still feel like a terabyte would be very good. I feel like that would be a great option for those that can see the value of a terabyte. I think most can do fine with 256, so that's what I think. Overall, I'm very hopeful for the OnePlus. I want them to be successful, just like I want the Pixel to be successful. And this way, Samsung can make a better fold. Alright, that's pretty much it. Like, comment, subscribe, thumbs up for more content. You guys stay awesome.